So after the events of episode 2 with Jay-Mo being killed and Lamar working his way back to the top of the game, there's going to be some consequences, because before Jay-Mo was killed, he made a move on another territory that belonged to Meech and Terry. The 12th Street Boys now have control over the rec center, and Meech already gave this territory to them when they were making more than half their earnings in the first episode, so this is going to hit their pockets even more going into episode 3, which is why we see Pat demanding his money from Meech. Now the foundations of relationship is trust, and trust is definitely going to be tested, as Lamar keeps testing this as he approaches Kato. Terry's going to roll with an iron fist from now on, as we see him out of hospital for the first time with an eye patch, and Meech is beginning to get a clear picture of everyone. So we're going to paint the picture of episode 3's trailer and break it down as usual. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything BMF and Power Universe related. But let's get straight into this trailer for episode 3 and start with Pat laying it on the table for Meech. He told him that this is your alarm clock, because if he doesn't get his money in 6 days, he's going to make it rain. And following the first 2 episodes, Meech has a big issue and he's going to have to think fast on how to make money quickly, because in episode 1 we saw him giving up some territory to Jay-Mo and his crew after Terry pulled a strap on them at their meeting. But he didn't just give away any old territory, it was where they were making more than half their earnings. On top of this, when Terry was in hospital, he took his most trusted soldiers off the streets to protect his family and hired some goons to take over, despite BMF warning him that hiring goons is a bad idea. And because of this, the rec center was taken by the 12th Street Boys, who paid off the goons, and the 50 boys have now been moved out. So there goes another spot where Meech was making money, and to top it all off, their stash house, which was compromised by a homeless man, resulted in them losing even more money, $6,000 worth. So it is fair to say, him being kicked out of the house and Terry being in hospital losing one eye is the least of their worries, because Pat will be waking Meech up with a gun if he doesn't get his money. Now Pat is an OG, the rules have always been the same with him, there ain't no other way, he's old school. But even if he has this real affection for Meech, who he taught everything he knows about the drug game too, he won't make any exceptions when it comes to his money, and we still need to see how Pat will react to Meech and Terry's idea of them going solo. So they are definitely building up to this. So with Pat breathing down Meech's neck, he's going to have to come up with something fast, and that's what he's going to do next week, because Meech and Terry are going to set up an undercover operation using a food truck to sell their drugs to factory workers. And as the 48 Laws of Power teaches us, the powerful are often youth who show creativity and express new ideas, and these ideas could lead them to gaining power because they're willing to think outside of the box and change. You have to constantly be adapting to changing situations and circumstances, just like how in episode 1 their product wasn't selling, so they designed a new potent batch of product which worked, and their new fresh ideas which we're definitely going to see more of throughout this season, and their youth is what is going to allow them to rise to the top and become kings. So as Terry and Meech work on their new idea, Terry's going to be out of hospital in the next episode with an eye patch, because of course we all know he's going to lose an eye after the botched surgery which Charles said he's going to file a lawsuit for. And this is something that actually happened in real life, where he then used the money to start a car rental place, and he had gadgets and secret compartments in all of their cars that only a few people knew how to open and locate, and something that was foreshadowed in the last episode with BMF's secret compartment which revealed his gun. But as Terry said, he's going to be rolling with an iron fist, and he's going to be a changed man after him being shot. He's someone who's going to have his head on a constant swivel from now on, after he let his guard down in the very first episode. And in this game, letting your guard down for even a moment can cost you, which is what we've spoken about before on this channel with various other characters. But the same concept applies here. You really can't let your guard down for a second. Kato did this and it cost them an eighth, which was $6,000 worth of product. So let's talk about Kato next, because this isn't the first time Meech has told her how it is. In the very first episode, Kato was trying to use her initiative and slice their prices to start selling more, because nobody was buying it at their prices, which was set at $50 for a bag of crack, and she got told, do what they say or get the fuck on. But then new potent batch of crack came from Kato slashing her prices, something we spoke about with the 48 Laws of Power earlier on. But in episode 2 she was told again, this time by Meech. He said that they need to get rid of her, because every time some shit happens, she's right in the middle of it. And from what we know from her character description, she's someone who's carrying a very dark secret, and her dark secret may start to be revealed in the next episode, because we see Lamar trying to attack Meech's organization from the inside. When Meech and Slick were talking, he realized that Meech tried to attack the 12th Street Boys from the inside when he approached Filmel and tried to get him to turn on Jay-Mo, but that was never going to happen because he was too loyal to Jay-Mo. But this is the same strategy that Lamar is going to try and use on Meech now. We're going to see him approaching Kato and asking her to start spilling, and Lamar has already started making his move to reclaiming the streets that were once his by feeding this misinformation about Jay-Mo being the one to order the hit on Terry. And we saw BMF taking out Jay-Mo while Lamar took out Filmel, and Lamar definitely is unfinished, and he is one crazy character. I do think his character is only going to get darker and even more crazier as the season goes on and as the series goes on, especially once the beef between him and Meech starts picking up even more, and I am definitely looking forward to seeing Lamar even more. I mentioned how Scully reminded me of Tuco Salamanca from Breaking Bad during the Snowfall reviews, and the way Lamar just let off this scream, I really hope he's a character that just shows us how equally crazy he is. So Meech will definitely have to watch his back because he's going to be on a collision course with Lamar. But let's talk about trust, because the foundation of our relationships is trust. But if you don't trust the one you're with, then they become a threat. And those were the words of older Meech as we saw flashes of Terry, Wanda, Charles and Lucille. And Charles questions Lucille, how long have you known? And how long has she known what? Because we saw Lucille meeting with Meech later on in this trailer, and after episode 2, Charles has really had enough of Meech. First he was dealing drugs, then he got the blame for the gun being in their house, and now he's getting the blame for Terry being shot. And Charles gave Lucille no option. He told her that Meech has to go from their home because they have to stop losing, and Lucille had to let Meech go, which is a very difficult decision that she had to make. He said that their job is to protect their kids, and they haven't been doing this because the drugs, they were polluting their home. And how bad do the consequences have to be? What if something happened to Nicole as a result of Meech's actions? So she had no option but to tell Meech that if he chooses the game, then he has to leave their home. But it won't stop Meech trying to protect his family, because that's exactly what he said that he's gonna do. We know that they're behind on their mortgage payments, and I really wouldn't be surprised if Lucille accepted Meech's money, because they do desperately need this. Which is why Charles could be so angry in this trailer. He's made it clear once before that he doesn't want any of Meech's money, so him giving Nicole money, or even possibly Lucille for the mortgage, this will definitely cause further cracks in a fractious relationship. But then we get Lopez questioning Detective Brian, what is it about the Flannery boys that has you acting like some kind of priest? And we all know that Detective Brian has been doing Meech favors for cash in return. He also used to be his former basketball coach, but with Jay-Mo's body dropping, when he specifically told him, just rough him up, nothing else, he's gonna be pissed with Meech. Because the last thing he wants is dead bodies on the streets, which he then has to investigate and cover up. So that's just a breakdown of episode 3's trailer, and we're really getting into some action now. So let's just see how Meech and Terry play this, because they want to be kings of their own kingdom, and they can't do this working under Pat. But first, they need to sort their issue out of them losing a lot of territory and trying to find a new way of shifting their product, and it's not going to be easy because competition is thickening because of Lamar Silas, and he's going to be trying to attack Meech's organization from the inside. So let me know what you guys think down below. Drop all your predictions for episode 3 of BMF in the comment section. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything BMF and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.